we've done in all of the other skill areas, we're going to have a sample lesson. And this lesson is going to work on the process of writing, from the brainstorming stage until the composition is complete. This is used a lot in public schools now, helping students learn to write. In fact, my son in the 4th grade became a good writer because the teacher just did the same process over and over again, but with interesting topics that the students wanted to write about. My older son never had this and never learned how to write very well. I don't know whether they're connected, but I do find this is a useful thing for all ages. And the lesson I'm going to do could be used for children, could be used for adults, could be used for beginners, intermediate, advanced in the U.S. or abroad. And after we finish the demonstration part, I'll ask you to go back and look at each of the parts of the lesson and figure out which ones you might change based on your particular audience. So are you ready to be kind of below intermediate students? So you could be advanced students if you want to be. And the topic of this lesson is an object that is important to you. I want you to close your eyes and think about some object that you own. Maybe it's in your room. Maybe it's something that you carry in your purse all the time. Maybe it's something that is in your pocket. Or maybe it's something that you left back in your home country, state. When you have an object in mind, open your eyes. And now I'd like you to think about this object with these questions and write a few notes to yourself. Take a couple of minutes. Don't worry about your grammar. Don't worry about your spelling. You don't need periods. You don't need capital letters. Just make some notes. Okay, now that you have a few notes, with the person next to you, share some of the answers to your questions. Just talk about it. I'm going to ask you to stop. Just a moment. You'll be able to. Take just 1 second if you want to add any notes to what you have. Then I'm going to ask everyone to get up and move to the back of the room. And here's what we're going to do. Half of the group is going to be in the outside circle, and you're going to be facing someone in the inside circle. So if you can get up and place yourself in 2 circles facing each other. Now, I want you to do the same thing you were doing, is to talk about your object, but the outside circle is going to talk. The inside circle is going to what? Listen.
Right.
And no writing. Yeah, no writing. So the outside circle will do the same thing. Describe the object, talk about why it's important, and the memories. And when I say stop, I'm going to then change roles. Are you ready? Now I would like the inside circle to move 1 place counterclockwise. And you will have a new partner. And again, I want the outer circle to be the speakers. I would like the inner circle again to move 1 place counterclockwise. And say hello to your new partner. And now, the inner circle is going to be the one talking. One more move, and again, the inner circle will talk to a new partner. Introduce yourself first. Go back and sit down at your desk. And now you've talked to several people, you've listened to several people. Go back to your And this is going to be your first sentence. Can you read this?
This is the prompt.
This is your prompt. And then I want you to make detailed sentences. It looks like, it feels like. So only one paragraph. How many paragraphs? And how many sentences?
I don't know, 5 to 7.
5 to 7. That sounds good. So we'd like you now to hand your paper to your neighbor. Get a partner. And read your partner's paper, and here's what I'd like you to do. Don't worry about grammar, don't worry about punctuation. This is thinking about what the person is saying about the item. So read it and find the part you like the best and underline it. And maybe make a note in the margin saying why. And then if you think perhaps all the questions are not answered, you can ask them to add more details. Tell me more about what it looks like, for example. And then if there's any part of the paper you don't understand, put a question mark beside the sentence. So if you like something, what are you going to do? Underline it and tell why. Yeah, just a quick note. This is good. I like these strong adjectives, for example. If you think something is missing, what are you going to do? Ask a question. Okay. What does it look like? What does it feel like? And then finally, if there's something you don't understand, what do you do? Put a question mark, all right? Does everyone have a partner? Let's see, partners. So read it quietly and make some notes.
Where's the clips?
Give the paper back to your partner. Partner, take a moment to look at the comments and then ask each other questions. Now, each person has your own composition, correct? I would like you now to rewrite that composition using feedback from your partner.
Feedback.
We got more time.
Yeah.
But if you're like, if you were,
Can we rewrite it? I mean,
or just add to it. Yeah, add things to it now. Perhaps you didn't have as much detail as your partner thought you should have, or your partner had questions and you want to add something.
We're rewriting the whole thing.
If you think it's necessary, or you can just add. Just for the sake of time, we're going to move to the next step, which is to give your paper back to your partner. And now we're going to be looking at the mechanics of the language. And these are some symbols that I'd like you to use. If you think someone has the wrong verb tense, put a T. The wrong word, what do you put? 2 W's, wrong word. If you left out a word or more than one word, you put that little mark. Word order, we were talking earlier about the challenges of different word order in different languages. W-O, spelling problem, punctuation, or again, if there's something you don't understand. So trade one more time, give it back to your partner, and read through the whole thing. And see if you think there's any problems with the mechanics. Do not correct it, but put the mark there, because it's your partner's job to correct it. Okay, for the sake of time, you have corrected, give it back to your partner, and your partner looks at it and asks you any questions. So if someone wrote WW, we're together. All right, let me stop you. Your job tonight, students, is to take what you have now and rewrite it again. Fix any of the grammar problems, the punctuation problems, the capitalization. add any more details you want to. Tomorrow you'll bring it to class and you'll give it to me. Yeah, well, the next class, yeah. The next class you will bring it to me. I will read it and also do the same thing that your partner did. I will then give it back to you to write it one more time. And then I'm going to ask you to bring in your object or a picture of your object. And we're going to post the compositions with the object for everyone to read and comment on. So thank you very much. Good students. Thank you, videographer. So what's your general feeling about this activity, this lesson?
It seems to be there's a lot of repetition, but there's enough variety in the tasks that you're assigning us that it doesn't feel like it.
But I liked it because you mostly focused on everything that started from our own self, but something that we wanted to write about and we had enough information. And this is very important in writing. If you don't have information about something, you're not able to write about that. But because it was something about us, so we were able to write down.
And how did you get more information about it?
By exchanging our knowledge and observations and explanations. For example, Danny makes some correction for my mistakes, but with punctuations.
Okay, so when you got down to the last stages, you were actually working on the actual writing. But
Like to kind of flesh out ideas, we exchanged kind of even before we had written everything down, we just kind of exchanged some ideas and we were able to contrast what other people's feelings were about their object with what we had written, about our own, and that might have given us, another perspective on our own object that we would then want to put into our paragraph.
Yeah, and what helped me to improve it and make it a little bit better was the questions that my pair wrote down. Like some points that I didn't pay attention to that, like adding more details to make it more clear to the reader. So that was.
where did the grammar come in? The punctuation, the spelling?
For symbol.
Where? No, at what point in the lesson?
Almost to the last part.
Almost to the last part. What did you think of the circles when you were sharing and moving clockwise, counterclockwise?
For me, it was a kind of brainstorming, like just thinking about the sentences to put them together, like structuring the paragraph.
Yeah, so it became a brainstorming, and Daniel?
For me, it was nice to get out of the chair. I didn't actually change anything.
All right,
Yeah.
you did.
Right.
Daniel.
It also incorporates other skills into the
Right.
lesson.
So it becomes almost a whole 4 skills lesson.
And it also created an interactive atmosphere between two peers,
This is something interesting, that longer for the first time and then it gets shorter because you become more fluent in the way that you describe it. What I would like you to do is to look at the lesson plan for homework, then this is real homework, and to fill out the grid. Because this is looking at all the different stages that you can include in a writing lesson. And we'll pick that up on Friday